Have you ever wondered what your union is doing for you? What it does for you in your career? What positive impact does it have on the community? Well, I do. And I'm Rick Myers, member of the BC Ferry Marine Workers Union. And today I'm lucky enough to be sitting down and having a conversation with Graham Johnson, the president of BC Ferry Marine Workers Union. Graham, thank you for taking the time to sit down and chat with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Rick.
And Graham, I'm sure you've probably heard this question before from the members, because I know I have. What has the union done for me? When you hear that kind of question, how do you answer it?
Well, it's a really broad question, but the foundational element of unions is to improve the terms and conditions of the worker, and also to ensure that workers have a healthier, safer work environment. What we try to do is make sure that our workers get the best value for the work that they do and that they make it home safe every night.
Now, Graham, in the last month, you've been busy working on what I call the business of the union. What are some of the things that the executive has put together in the last little while?
Well, I guess a few of the highlights from this past month. We are very happy to say that we now are able to provide full-service WCB appeals through the BCGEU WCB Appeals Department. What that means is if our members have to appeal a WCB claim, instead of going to the Workers' Advisor's Office now, they can do a start to finish go on WCB appeals with a WCB expert from the BCGEU.
So we're working in partnerships with other unions.
Yeah, BCGEU is our parent affiliate, and so in that way, it was actually not very hard to negotiate a service agreement between us and them, and they gave us a pretty good deal on it.
It's awesome. And I heard you're working on other things like asbestos, which I know is along the lines of workmen's compensation.
Yeah, asbestos is the #1 workplace killer in Canada, and a lot of our vessels at BC Ferries still contain a lot of asbestos. We have an asbestos management program that looks at containment and encapsulation of asbestos on our vessels. But what we really want is an asbestos-free workplace, and we're going to try and work with the company towards getting that. But we've got to change a few minds first.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. I work on one of those vessels. Now, Graham, some of the other things you've been doing lately is you went out on a fleet tour and met some of the members. How was that experience?
Well, I always try and do tours. I usually try and get out to the fleet once a week to various locations. But getting up north isn't so easy. It's a 14-hour vessel from Port Hardy to Prince Rupert, and then another 4 hours from Prince Rupert over to Skidegate. And of course the mighty Kuna, which goes between Alfred Bay and Skidegate, that's as far-flung as it gets. So Eduardo Munoz, ship's officers component, Second Vice President Shauna Walsh and I set aside a week of our time to make that trip up north and to make sure that the members up there feel heard.
They must have been so happy to see you guys, because I don't think many previous board members got up that way, because it is, like you said, pretty far away. Were they happy to see you?
Yeah, for sure they were happy to see us. I think one thing that was different that we did that previous executives hadn't done was actually taking the time to ride the vessels up and down and really going out of our way to make sure that we took time to talk to the crew when they had the time available, whether that was breaks or, there's 2 watches up there, night shift and day shift. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it for crew changeover, so we only got to see 1 watch, but that's the breaks of our schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got some more plans to continue to do this fleet visits?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's more than anything, it's just something that we try to do as just a standard operating procedure for us. But one place I haven't been yet this summer, I'm hoping to get out to soon, is Southern Gulf Islands. But again, hitting all the different points of assembly there can be a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, but I've seen you. You keep pretty busy. I'm sure you're going to hit them all. Now, Graham, something else I noticed that's really shifted within our union is the amount of community involvement we've been doing lately. Pride Parade, Silly Boat, young people. Tell us what you think, how do you think that's going to impact our communities by us getting involved?
Well, I'm always happy to lend a positive helping hand to our communities. But more importantly, I think what we have to do is create a sense of community among our members. And that means reaching out to diverse groups, members that haven't always necessarily felt included in the union movement, and showing them that we're there for them and that, you know, all of the brothers and sisters in our union are there for each other. It's kind of like the concept of it's kind of like a family. It doesn't matter what your brothers and sisters choose to do, they're still family.
We're still family. We still look out for each other. Graham, I've been involved in the Pride parades, and I know that we've seen huge amounts of people. I think that the Vancouver Pride parade this year had like 800,000 people that saw us, and we had the biggest membership turnout to go with that. But a lot of times in those bigger cities that aren't ferry reliant, I see us always having to remind people that we're the ferry workers, because a lot of times they go just the ferries. But when we go to little towns like Powell River, which are more ferry reliant, I think when we're going in those parades, which was an amazing parade, by the way, that people automatically know that we are not the company and that we are the workers that get you there safely. Do you think we should do more and more of that outreach stuff?
Oh, the issue of differentiating between the union and the company is a really big one for us. There's a lot of branding issues that we have around trying to make sure that people know that the ferry workers aren't the people who set the prices and the schedules. We're the people who ensure the safe and efficient voyage of the ferries. Shouldn't say always ensure the efficient voyage, but we're the folks who are given the tools to make sure the job gets done.
Excellent. There's one other question I want to ask you about. It's about the Shop Stewards Committee or the convention. You've worked on something's coming up. Sounds really amazing.
Yeah, we're hoping that we can recognize some of our more advanced and active shop stewards. It seems that most other unions have some sort of gala or retreat for their very active stewards, and that's something we've never done. Considering that the stewards make up the foundational element of the union, they really are the fabric of the union, we need to make sure that we're treating them the right way. And that means giving them an opportunity to get together, talk about their issues, and learn a little bit more about what their job is, and hopefully get a chance to relax and just hang out for a bit too.
And there's also an educational element to it, or?
Oh yeah, no, we're not sending people on vacation. It's going to be long days during the day, but it's going to be up at Harrison Hot Springs. So at least at night, people will be able to hopefully get down to the hot springs and hang out a bit. But during the day, it's going to be probably 10-hour days of educational components. And the people who are active stewards, for them, that's stuff that they want to engage in. So we're happy to teach them.
Awesome. I'm one of those people that like to go. This has been the review with brother and president of the BC Ferry Marine Workers Union, Graham Johnson. If you have any questions or concerns about our topics today, please feel free to email. And what's that email address again?
The best email address to use is mailroom@bcfmwu.com.
Excellent. Thank you, and hope to see you soon.